We had a section earlier where we were kind of whining about stuff, but the thing I was trying to get at was more just like, this game is causing me like intellectual anguish because
it doesn't respect everything that we've learned up to this point from JRPGs as it easily could and should. Because like the inspiration is all there, but the lessons learned from those inspirations are completely neglected.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels... I mean, it feels like a feature list rather than a game that learns from, you know...
Which is what we wanted out of the Tokyo RPG Factory experiment.
Yeah, you know, it was like the Tokyo RPG Factory experiment. It's like, in theory, we get people who've actually played the canon of all these games as opposed to just read the feature lists on the back and did all the same stuff.
Right.
Which is a cynical take on it, but I was trying to find a simple way to put it. You know? Because, for example, we played through so many moments of this game like, oh, we're not going to put on the robots because the robots cost too much, but they're also not that good when you use them.
Yep.
Which is in so many other games, you know?
And here's the other thing. When we reviewed Setsuna, it was in
two full heals.
That was 2 full heals, sure.
Good shit.
Whatever. Yeah. When we first looked at I Am Setsuna, it was during a time when there weren't a lot of JRPGs. So, I mean, there still were. There were plenty of JRPGs, but...
Coming out of the dark ages there.
We were like, all right, we have a consistent place where JRPGs can come from. But that's not really the case in 2018. Because in 2018... Oh, don't mind if I do, friends. We have Octopath Traveler.
I was going to say, if we wanted to...
Which comes from a company that's making these JRPGs, very specifically, as often as Tokyo RPG Factory makes them. But iterates more, does more, and effectively is growing, unlike the Tokyo RPG Factory.
Isn't it by the Bravely people?
Yep.
Which means it's also Square.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
They've already got a team doing this in the same place.
See, that's the thing, is that Square is putting so many different, like, points of resource towards making retro... That's the thing, is Square makes a lot of retro RPGs, but they don't make any retro RPGs. You know what I mean? They make Dragon Quest XI... Like the only quote-unquote retro RPG that they've put out in the past 10 years or whatever, 5 years, let's say, is the 3DS version of Dragon Quest XI, which is a Super Nintendo game, you know? They have not done any of this, we're gonna make a Mega Man 9 where we're gonna, like, go back to our old hardware and do it that way. We've got an Octopath Traveler, which is, like, we're gonna take this old art style and, like, add some new lighting engines to it, or Setsuna / RPG Factory, which is we're gonna take the top-down perspective but build it all in 3D engines and try and get 3D perspectives out of stuff sometimes. Yep. You know, they do a lot of pseudo-retro. And so we don't have like one canon of direct retro coming from Square. We have all these different threads to follow, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and so this is one of them.
and this is one of them, and it's just not as good as any of the other ones.
That's the thing, is I even want to say it's like, is this competing with Octopath? But it's not, because it's coming from the exact same people. You know?
Right. Oh, that's where they want me to go.
It's not even like, you know, not even in the marketplace is it technically competing for space. Actually, if you wanted to get deep into it, you could say that maybe this isn't as successful as Octopath or whatever, because Square put their money behind that and not this. You know? In you know, marketing or whatever the hell, you putting it in public consciousness.
No, they're
I'm
different.
not sure
they're different teams. They go to different places. They're published on entirely different systems, even.
Didn't this come out for everything? Oh, well, Octopath was a Switch exclusive.
This came out for a lot of things, and Octopath was a Switch exclusive.
Okay, so they wanted Octopath to succeed.
As one of their main, like, launch-esque titles. Hey, guys! Yeah. Didn't want to be, like... You didn't want to make sense on this tiny-ass platform, did you guys?
The funny thing
is... Hey, remember when we fought the boar? Just, these idiots remind me of the boar.
The funny thing is it's like, I think this is actually one of the most authentic, quote-unquote, takes on retro that Square is putting out, because it's like... It's as though people who made games on the PS1 just kept, you know, making them the way that they did, you know? So basically like what their Dragon Quest team does, but from a different period of time. Mjolnir. Also, y'all just got Mjolnir.
Fucking mule it up.
Yeah.
Give me my Moscow Mule. Giganto Crusher! It's not as strong as the Giganto Crusher. Alarmingly durable. I gotta see it. It better look like lightning.
I was gonna make fun of you because it was like you were so into the Giganto Crusher. Well, now you've got the fucking Hammer of the Gods.
Look at it. It's great looking. I just like how big it is.
It's pretty decent.
Big ol' electro tube.
You know what? Okay, all of his weapons look like Donald's weapons in Kingdom Hearts. That's what's fucking me up.
They're big ol' hammers.
Goofy looking hammers.
Stop. Ace hammer time. Stop it, Goofy.
Nice.
Okay, I think they want us to get on this one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fucking yeah, it's gonna be a teleport dungeon. You bet your bottom's dollar. Hey guys, welcome to the party. I'm about to punch you once.
I don't bet my bottom's dollar, they bet my money.
Let your bottom bet their own dollars, please. Bam. Friends, family.
I'd let them if they wanted to.
Ah! Lasers. Ah! Ah! More lasers.
Counter blaster.
Counter blaster. Give him the fist. Oh shit. That's not good. Give him the slush. Slush him. I like that you can name all the attacks. There's a lot of things in this game you can name.
It's kind of... Were we able to name any of the characters?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, they got their names.
Yeah, because we were already calling her Galdra like way before she was in the party, way before we would have gotten the naming prompt.
Yeah, I'm glad we could not rename her Bradra. That would have been just a tragic
that
thing.
would have been so bad, Solon.
I don't know, man. Trying to be a good person, just not very good at it. Hard out there.
I guess it's like the thing is like even if you want to give a kid their first RPG, here's a question. You've been playing this, and you also reviewed Octopath Traveler for our friends at Video Game Choo Choo.
Yep.
And so you've actually been on a lot of this. I played Bravely Default, but I'm pretty sure you also played Bravely Default. Like you've been through a lot of these. You know?
Yes. Yep.
Would you, if you wanted to give a 12-year-old kid who was like smart enough to understand a role-playing game, would you give them this or would you give them Octopath?
I would give them Octopath.
Right.
Yeah. I guess that answers that question as well.
Right.
Well, my friends are dying.
That's the thing is like the intellectual Anguish has been trying to be nice to the game for the sake of not just being a nitpicky whiny fuck, but like the game is not going above and beyond. You know?
Or as Chaz, friend of the show, says, wait, Chaz Monroe, friend of the show.
Chaz Monroe, friend of the show.
Says, don't be a bitch, Austin. Their words, not mine. That was exactly what they said after everything. And that's sticking with me, my friend. All right, give him the slush. But yeah, no, I think. What do you think about? God damn, Locke, can you?
Ooh. Getting blown up here. Do full heals bring people back to life?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, just boost that.
Pop that shit.
We bought 3 of them, or if we found whatever. We used one of them. We got that one back, and then we got another 2. You know, like.
I ain't using this.
Why would we not use one in the middle of a random battle? I think we can even buy them at shops.
I think so too. Don't Canada? Come on, man. Oh, okay, great. They just suddenly died.
There's also stuff like that in this game where it's like you get a free attack at the beginning of a battle.
Just a lot of shit happens.
And it's like
inexplicably.
I guess that's cool because it means that any enemy that would die in one hit just dies instantly. But like, if you're thinking about game design in that way, I would tell you to go back to step 1. You know,
go back to school.
I'm just, you know, if you're like, that's the thing is like, there's so much in this game that like comes from the mitigation tradition of RPGs as opposed to the let's make this more fun tradition of RPGs. You know?
Right. The bosses have just as much health as they would. Why don't you just make my attack stronger that I'm already using instead of just adding more stuff? It's more cruff.
Well,
that's what we've been calling it.
yeah, there's a lot of cruft that it's like, you know, I'm trying not to be cynical, but it's also the game seems to be so intent on impressing upon me that it has stuff in it. You know?
Excuse me, stuff coming through. Don't ignore me. Don't ignore me when I'm talking to you. You're about to attack everyone once. That's just how it goes. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. That's the save point that I want to go to. The fast forward button is pretty good.
The fast forward button is really funny.
Does it set a dangerous precedence?
Yes, it
to
absolutely
be a,
does.
Because there's a lot of these JRPGs that are putting in fast forward buttons.
I mean, okay, you want to talk about mitigation? That's what. Okay, so what I say when I say mitigation, I mean these are games that basically are coming at new people who haven't played RPGs. Like, okay, we know that part of the genre is not fun, but there's this thing, you know?
I get as like a way to mitigate fun. Oh, hey,
as a way to mitigate unfun, as opposed to invent fun. I don't know. Let's try and get away from the Phil Spector language, but. You know.
The invention of fun. Ooh, everything got hit once at the beginning of battle. I think it's fun, though.
Well, yeah, but it's like, it's fun because everything gets damaged and we get closer to winning the battle.
True.
And we
also like it even more when we do 2,000 damage, as we've found. So if they just, instead of... God, look at just... There's so many words that happen.
Soul Tree, Pantheon, Devotion. What do even all of those do? You know, like, that's the thing, is like...
It doesn't say there, because it can't say there. But it does say that they are all constantly happening.
ATB minus 5%, ceiling, 5%, momentum kill, sublimation.
Oh, good. I was hoping to sublimate that.
Yeah. The critical question is, why does this exist? You know? We've asked that about a lot of pieces of content in this game, and thus it kind of comes back on the ultimate piece of content itself, which is the game. Why does this exist? I don't know.
It's true. Every time that we ask, why does something in the game exist, we also have to come around and be like, why does this game exist?
Well, the thing is if you ask,
because those do go hand in hand.
Okay, but like, okay, there was a dumb example I brought up of something a while ago in this Let's Play. I brought up Sonic 4. How a lot of people hated it, and there was this one guy who liked it because it did stuff that a lot of people hated. Blah, 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 blah. So I could say...
Yada, yada, yada.
So I could say, why does the homing attack exist in Sonic 4? And I would say, well, even though it makes some people unhappy, there is a reason, you know? Like, I can think through that. If I think through why does this game exist, my impression is Setsuna was successful enough that they got this group to work on a second game, and they said, the first one was kind of weird, let's make this one a little more usual. You know?
Yeah,
so
let's make it a little more
about,
normal.
You know, kings, robots, that kind of stuff.
Very medieval fantasy
Main
stuff.
character's got a sash. Sorry,
robot? Hey, our favorite giant robot fight.
From nowhere.
Yes! Is it the same one? You sense it too. This one's dangerous. Stay strong, everyone.
This is a game that feels like it was about filling in an outline.
Yep. Imperium. Improved critical hit rate. New music. Okay. At least we get something.
Have we not heard this one?
Imperium.
So this boss is called Imperium?
Oh yeah, it is.
So is he like the Empire robot? I'm asking that question in abstract. We have an Empire, but then there's a robot called Imperium, and I'm not sure what the connection is.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's got a big old microphone cock.
He does! Good for him. Okay, give him the horns. I destroy ceilinged, I guess.
Okay, I will say, going back to the Volco suits.
Yep.
The Volco suits are supposed to be special because there used to be, like, the legendary plated people or whatever. So basically, the game is using...
that was a whole thing that didn't make any sense.
They basically used the whole advanced society from the past thing.
Yeah.
Another Chrono Trigger.
There's a lot of advanced societies from the past, too. There's been a couple of them.
Yeah, so there's been more than one in this game?
Think so.
That's fine, whatever.
Because there's also where
So if nothing
Zemrod
else,
came from and stuff.
I at least know why the Volko suits. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just there's also where the main bad guy came from, which was not the plated people, but another group.
Well, he came from the ancient empire, or rather, like the empire before we were alive.
Right.
So what makes the robots? What's supposed to make us the heroes having the robots cool is that it's some weird prophecy thing, I think, that like we have the robots. So like they're the Keyblade. But again, it's like they don't ever use the robots. So.
Yeah, true. Guess we could fight this robot with our robots.
Yeah, but do we have to? I mean, like it seems like
we have to?
the game seems like it would be giving us the prompt, hey, you're fighting a robot, maybe you should be getting in the robot. But like that's always, for one, it's like that language never quite works because I'm literally using lightning on him, which is my 25 years trained thing to do. Is I'm fighting a robot, use lightning on it, not I'm fighting a robot, getting a robot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very, very picky, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not scared of robot in RPG. This is not like a dragon or something where I go, oh shit, I need to take this like way more seriously than anything else.
Hey, we all got 100 HP from that. Nice.
That attack is not doing the kind of damage or healing that I thought it would. Sorry.
Nope, it's not. It costs a lot of MP.
Sorry, buddy.
Hey, I'm sorry. You had a good choice on that and not panning out yet.
Have we put any boosts on it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well,
We put some boosts on it. Could do more. I like all these support attacks. This is fun. Do I need to potentiate anything? No, we're good. We are alive, Austin. This guy is almost not. Boop. None of our attacks are very effective against this guy, but it doesn't matter. Because it don't got much health. Magical mar it. Yeah, mar the shit out of its magic.
I have no idea what magical.
I don't either. There's just a couple things that the language in this game is very strange.
I mean, I guess you could go through a lot of FF8 not knowing what a tick G means, but you know. But
Oh, momentum kill.
oh,
Bye.
He's already gone.
Bye. Well, it's been fun reminiscing on all of the parts of this game, but we are coming to the end of this dungeon.
True.
Do you have any final words, Austin, for our friends at home about just where you feel like the Last Sphear is going and what the future of Tokyo RPG Factory is after this?
I can feel the effort in this, which is what makes it the most painful.
Forgot about this.
I'm not quite sure how to express that best. This does not feel cynical.
No.
You know, that's because we played Setsuna and we felt the uncynicalness of Setsuna. And we can feel the uncynicalness of this. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's like a sophomore slump type of deal where, you know, like a good band makes a bad second album.
That's kind of what I think about it too.
Yeah, you see,
yeah.
Well, here's the concerning part is we know that this, in the current video game budgeting environment and stuff like that, if you have a game that doesn't sell well or doesn't Metacritic well or whatever, your entire
done.
studio could just be dissolved.
Yeah, that's kind of what our fear is,
so
right?
that's the thing is, it's like you almost have to be angry at this because it's like you're looking at this, like, you know, if Tokyo RPG Factory made this because they needed to exist, it's like, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
And this is the tradition of JRPGs. This is what we were built off of, because you start with the Final Fantasy. Why is it called Final Fantasy? Because it was that game company's Final Fantasy.
Well, that's
the lore, at least. I don't even know if that's true, but the folk story is that if Final Fantasy did not do well, then Square Enix or Squaresoft or whatever it was when the first Final Fantasy came out was not going to exist anymore. That was their Hail Mary pass from not having to make generic garbage anymore. At least that's the story as I know it. That's why it's called Final Fantasy, was because it's literally that studio's Final Fantasy. So we know that if your JRPG doesn't do great, that might be the end of your entire thing. Although that's not true, because Xseed still exists. So who knows? There's like they make the rules up as they go.
I guess that's the thing is, well, let's put it this way.
Maybe it won't be. Maybe this is just a
entire
sophomore album or whatever, but
We
yeah.
just talked for this entire episode about how Square Enix already has other ways of making retro RPGs, right?
Yes.
So basically, we're looking at this team that already made a good game, and we're mad because we hope this doesn't set them back so far that they don't ever get to make anything else.
Right.
Is that fair?
Absolutely. I think that at least is very fair.
Yeah, because it's like I can even see the effort into making a game this generic be good. It's not even getting to like Bravely Default. I actually actively enjoy for a period of time, and it's really frustrating for me that this well-made, polished, whatever the hell you want to call it, game is not entertaining. It's so it's but it's that's the ultimate thing to come from so far is that we hope this thing wraps up strong. And we hope that they get another, third crack at it.
Hey, speaking of wrapping up strong,
Yeah.
where do you think? Make one last Babe Ruth point at the sign, swing for where is this game gonna end? Is Kanata gonna have to kill himself at the end?
No,
Because Tokyo RPG Factory likes doing that.
That's okay. Sorry,
That is literally the end of I Am Setsuna. So
one more thing before I make my prediction. That was the thing.
when I was Setsuna, that was our last line in that game.
When we were Setsuna.
We were Setsuna.
Back at the time when we were Setsuna.
So
that game was so inspired and had so many new things in it.
Yeah.
And it feels like maybe somebody just didn't have their first idea, and instead somebody told them their first idea.
Yeah.
I hope that next time they have their own idea again.
Yeah, but what do you think this is gonna end? We got to stop him this time. Everybody, we have to destroy Crom. Crom is up ahead.
We have to destroy Crom. I'm wondering if there's going to be something beyond Crom. Actually, here's my gamble. Here's my gamble. In the great JRPG tradition, Crom will be defeated, and his own spirit will then be subsumed back into the own moon consciousness, which will then emerge and choose to fight us because the moon has been hostile to the Earth this entire time. Because we remember that plot element where the moon has been losing stuff.
Can we kill the moon?
I don't think we're going to kill the moon. I think we are going to, like Necron, prove to the moon presence that we deserve to live by fighting.
If we destroy the moon, can we high five at the end?
If we actually blow up the moon at the end of this video game, I will high five you because that will be the stupidest thing ever.
Yes! All right. I love you guys very much. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time for more Lost Sphear and more Solon Face on this YouTube place that may or may not exist. Thank you, and good night.